Morning, race fans. Played golf 2 days ago. 18 at, where did I play? I think I played at Belle Glade. 18 over there. I did okay. I shot an 84. 18 holes for me. Not bad. I could have improved it though. I did some stupid shots, you know. I guess that's golf. And yesterday I played 9-hole executive over at Palmetto. Shot a 37. Just wasn't very good at all. I can't blame the golf course. I can't blame the wind. I can't blame I can't blame anybody but me. And that's what makes you feel so bad. You know, why'd you miss that 3-foot putt? Because I'm not good. So I shot a 30, what did I shoot? A 34, I think. Par's 29. So, yeah, it is what it is. But had a great time with my buddies on the golf course. Went out to Evans Prairie, had a couple of beers and a little bite to eat after the game. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So let's get on with the news of what it is. Some good, some bad. Villager arrested on multiple porn charges after search warrant executed at his home. Looks like in Osceola Hills. A 66-year-old villager was arrested after deputies recovered files from the man's laptop that appeared to be child pornography. The man, who denied wrongdoing and claimed the files were the result of him clicking on bad pop-ups, is facing 24 felony charges of possession of child pornography and is being held on a $120,000 bond. I don't know what to say. Village's officials take action on home that apparently has been vacated. Village's officials have ordered the owners of a seemingly vacant property to bring the property into compliance after receiving complaints from neighbors about overgrown grass. The district will file a fine will fine the owners $250 each time it maintains the property. Villages reminisce as Jay and the Americans. Remember that name? Jay and the Americans? That's bringing one back, isn't it? Take the stage at Savannah Center. Jay and the Americans has a history that stretches back to the 1960s. Decked out in red, white, and blue outfits, Jay, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Reinick, and 3 original members, Howie Kane, Marty Sanders, and Sandy Dean, rocked out to Savannah Center with a memorial performance. Okay, let's move on. Villagers elicit fences to go back before Architectural Review Committee. Somebody's put up a fence and didn't get permission. You can't do that here. I've said it time and time again. All it takes is one complaint, and you better have your paperwork in order. Village of Orange Blossom couple will have another chance to make a plea. Oh, if they have another chance, they've been to them once, so the second plea never works either. Make a plea for a pair of illicit fences at their home. Richard and Ingeborg Anderson, I won't say their address, on Wednesday, June 13th, are scheduled to go back before the Architectural Review Committee. Ahead at that meeting, the Village Center Community Development District Board this week, after a public hearing, found that the Andersons' fences in violation of deed restriction rules. The couple did not receive ARC approval prior to putting up the fences located on both ends of the concrete pad. So I'm not going to read all this. It just basically says that if the matter is not brought into compliance, the couple will be fined $150 and then $50 per day until the matter is corrected. If the fines reach $1,500, the case will be turned over to the district council to seek all available remedies. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to force them to do it, or they're going to damn well wish that they did. There's things that they do. Well, they'll get the penalties and things put on their property taxes. There's all kinds of things that they can do. but they got a concrete pad outside the back of their house. Listen, I relate to all this, and they want some privacy, man, because our homes are fairly close together, unless you buy $1 million house. But I will say, in Orange Blossom, that's one of the original areas. They're mostly modular type homes. Their properties up there are bigger, most of them, or at least they look like it to me. And there's more space between the properties, so. But privacy is kind of an issue for some people. So on the concrete pad out back, in the back of his house, sliding glass doors, you go out into a concrete pad. There's probably an overhang on top up there for the rain. He put up these 2 fences. Probably go to Lowe's. You've seen them. These, I don't know what they are, 6x6, 8x8, kind of like fences, vinyl. He's put one on one side, put one on the other side, privacy for his neighbors, so he can sit. That's what it is, and I understand. But good Lord, man, why didn't you go to ARC and just simply fill out the paperwork? It's free. It's easy. Once they said you're approved, you're in like Flynn. There's nothing nobody could do about it. But you didn't. So, as they say, now it's time to pay the price. Okay, let's see what else they got. A villager in Springdale was bilked out of money. Bilked. I think that's a fancy word for meaning that somebody hornswoggled. That was in my Indiana territory. Called hornswoggled. So you were screwed out of money because you fell for it. Somewhere along the line, you fell for it. Or you hired a maid that stole something. I mean, it happens all the time. Listen, I'm not trying to be critical about a lot of this, but a lot of this is just commonsensical things. And they just, I don't know. I mean, I haven't got there yet in my age. I don't know what it's like to be 80 and sick. So I don't want to pick on these people, but I get so sick that these worthless people that take advantage of elderly people, that we, as elderly people, make it so easy for them to steal stuff because we do dumb stuff. If you've got a $10,000 ring or bracelet or any jewelry worth that kind of money, let me ask you, this is going to be a dumb question, but I'm going to put it out there. Why have you got it in your jewelry box in your bedroom? Just, to me, that just seems rather stupid. How's come it ain't in a lockbox somewhere? Hidden. Because the odds are you probably don't wear the stuff anyway. You just like to have it near you. So I think I'd go to the bank, get me a lockbox, put it away. If you're going to leave it to your kids, it's in a good place. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not having a real good morning because there was a guy over here a while ago, a visiting guy. I don't know the guy's name. About 4 or 5 houses down. So it really wasn't bothering me that much, but I was sitting out here drinking a little wine. And I kept hearing this horn blowing. The kind of beep that you get when you lock your car. You hit lock your car and it goes beep once. Kind of lets you know the car's locked. It was that. Beep, 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 beep. And I'm thinking, what the hell? How many times you got to hit that box to know that your car door's locked? So I walk out the front door. It's beeping all this time. Walk out the front door and look out there. And the guy's standing out there in the driveway hitting this thing. Beep, beep, beep. Jesus. The guy can't lock his car doors. Maybe he shouldn't have a set of keys to the car. All right, I'm done. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to get a lot of these. I'm going daily. A lot of these reports is old reports from 6 months ago, and they're following up on them, and it just doesn't really have that. They just don't. I don't think they're very interesting after a while. CDD approved. Remember we was talking about this in my last update about the hikes because the bridges need to be shored up and a few sinkholes have to be fixed, things like that. And I said, I don't understand why we're footing the bill on this bridge up here being shored up, because it's a public bridge. Sumter County taxes ought to kick in. We pay Sumter County tax here, property tax and whatever. I don't understand why our amenity fees are supposed to be paying for that. It just doesn't get... Anyway, here's just another little report. It says CDDs approve budgets with 12 to 15% hikes in maintenance assessment fees. Facing steep costs for hurricane recovery, sinkholes and road repairs, community development districts, 4 supervisors voted for a 20% increase in next year's maintenance assessments for residents. I guess it is what it is. Villager surprised by Miami parking ticket on Range Rover she never owned. It's kind of weird. I could read that story to you, but nah, I'll let you find it. Okay, go to another one. Thousands flock to Village's polo field for balloon glow event after skies clear. That's from a couple weeks ago, I think, when I was on my little walkabout. PWAC dropping pursuit of FEMA grant to repair of sloughing at Morse Bridge. In the wake of Hurricane Irma, PWAC have decided to purse FEMA money for the problems at Morse Boulevard Bridge. Now, PWAC will consider abandoning its pursuit of a grant to help assessment fees. Facing steep costs for hurricane recovery, sinkholes and road repairs, community development districts, 4 supervisors voted for a 20% increase in next year's maintenance assessments for residents. I guess it is what it is. Villager surprised by Miami parking ticket on Range Rover she never owned. It's kind of weird. I could read that story to you, but nah, I'll let you find it. Okay, go to another one. Thousands flock to Village's polo field for balloon glow event after skies clear. That's from a couple weeks ago, I think, when I was on my little walkabout. PWAC dropping pursuit of FEMA grant to repair of sloughing at Morse Bridge. In the wake of Hurricane Irma, PWAC have decided to purse FEMA money for the problems at Morse Boulevard Bridge. Now, PWAC will consider abandoning its pursuit of a grant to help pay for the sloughing problems at the bridge. Let's go on. There ain't really not a whole lot there that amuses me. PWAC gives preliminary approval to breeze of fresh air at revolving door location in Lady Lake. New Mexican restaurant has opened at a location on US 441 that has been a revolving door for restaurants over. Oh, another Mexican restaurant. Yeah, we need more of those. I'm sorry. There's just too many of them. You go to any town in America anymore. You know, every street corner is like the old gas station thing. There was a gas station on every corner. It seemed like you go to any town anymore, there's a Mexican restaurant on every corner. And everybody talks about, oh, this one's better than that one. That one's better than this one. I've been to some that are a little bit better than others, but they all seem basically the same to me. The same menu, the same food, the same price. It all seemed like microwave crap. I swear that's what it all seemed like to me. The refried beans, maybe there's a pot of those back there, and the rice maybe, and all that kind of stuff. But like the burritos and all that kind of stuff, and the tacos, they just seem like microwave crap. Because the shells on most of the tacos never really come fresh to me. They seem soggy, chewy. They just don't seem very fresh. You ever notice when the food comes to the table that in most cases the plate is hotter than the food? That's a sign of microwave to me. I don't know. Maybe it ain't. I don't know. All I know is I've never ate at a Mexican restaurant that I would rave about. I've made at them, they're okay, And the price is reasonable, but to rave about it, nah, I haven't found any yet. And before anybody says anything, I took a long trip out west last year, or was the year before that? Might have been a year before that. I ate at a lot of restaurants. San Antonio. It's all Tex-Mex when you get out there. I got to tell you, after a while, I got sick of it. Tex-Mex this, Tex-Mex that. I couldn't get away from it. And one day we was in a town, I forget where we was at, one of them western towns. They had a nice hotel for a couple of days, very nice hotel. They had a restaurant there, and I thought, I'm just going to eat here and maybe get something different. Get the menu out, and it was Tex-Mex, even there. So we left, and we went downtown, and I found a Japanese-type restaurant, where they cook the food at the table. And we thought, well, we'll eat that. That's different. We'll eat that to get away from Tex-Mex. Well, because there's only two of us, they wouldn't set us at a table where they actually cook it. We sat at a table. We ordered off a menu. They cook it in the back room, then they bring it to you. Just tasted like ordinary crap. Didn't have that special taste, that special flavor. There was nothing special about it. And the bill was $65 for just the two of us, which I thought was way overpriced. I thought I was back in the villages again. So, you can't win when you go west. I swear to God you can't. The beer goes up to $7 and $8 a bottle. It's just nuts. Sumter County commissioners to file defamation lawsuit against animal activists. Yeah, these people, these commissioners, I think they're a bunch of crybabies. You want to file a lawsuit against me, commissioners? I think all of you are a bunch of elected crybabies. Suck it up. The taxpayers has to suck it up. Jeez. Anyway, the Humane Society, SPCA of Sumter County Incorporated, and their refusal to designate the shelter as a no-kill shelter. They're trying to get that Animal Humane Society over there as a no-kill shelter. I believe the commissioners struck that idea down. They made some changes, I think, that instead of killing them after 10 days, they stretched it to like maybe, I don't know. Don't quote me on any of this. You have to Google it. I could read it here, but I'm not going to because I don't want to give the commissioners any more time than they deserve. 30 days, I think. They kind of appeased them a little bit. And she had said something on Facebook. She typed something on Facebook about him. I forget what it was. I don't think it was threatening. Well, maybe I better read this before I say something that isn't correct. Not like that ain't happened before. Sumter County Commissioner Susie agreed to proceed with the defamation lawsuit against an animal activist who posted on Facebook video last month attacking them. So what? She's got a right to do that. It's called freedom of expression. Freedom of the press. So what? Now you guys are against the Constitution? The potential lawsuit became the latest salvo in an ongoing 9-month battle with the activist who started coming to board meetings last summer. So what? She has a right to go. County Attorney Jennifer Ray said the video posted by Karen Pauley, oh man, these names down here, Gugliuzza of Leesburg, refers to commissioners as monsters, cold-hearted snakes, and dirty, rotten scoundrels. Oh my God, we should have her locked up for actually calling you a dirty, rotten scoundrel. Oh, I am beside myself. According to her profile, Polly Gugliuzza is a volunteer dog walker with a Lady Lake Animal Shelter. Ray asked commissioners to give her directions on whether to file a lawsuit. While we respect the public's right for free speech, no, you don't. You're lying. I'm calling you that. You're lying. We believe there are limits. No, there is not. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say there's limits on your freedom of speech or your freedom of associations or any of that stuff. There has to be limits of what is acceptable in public speech. Well, as much as I kind of agree with part of that, the law doesn't say that. Defamation lawsuits are more difficult to win for public figures like commissioners, and they must prove actual malice. And you're not going to win, and you're spending a lot of the taxpayers' money for your stupid personal crap. Ray said the video has received 6,308 views and 194 shares. She said one person commented about killing commissioners. Well, one of the commenters may have said something, but the lady that posted it is not responsible for what one of her followers comments. I keep an eye on mine, I will admit. And just like I said a while ago, I'll cut things out that I just don't think is appropriate. Or things I just don't want to talk about. And two of mine is politics and religion. I just don't want to get into it. Because you can't win. But that doesn't mean that if I say something that I could be arrested. You can't threaten the president, physical harm, and you can't do that. You know, I understand all this. But for somebody just to simply say that you're a monster... Come on, you bunch of sissies. The video was posted on the Shelter Reform for Sumter County Facebook page, but Angie Fox, one of the page's administrators, warned commissioners not to blame it on her. If you go after me for something I didn't do, you will be paying my attorney's fee, she said. That's just she's mad, so she just says stuff. That may or may not be true. The odds are that won't be true, but, you know, you have to understand she's mad at this point, and I would be too. The county improved its live release percentage of the animals received to about 90% for 6 months, which is the level of a no-kill shelter. But commissioners refused to designate the shelter as no-kill, to the chagrin of the activists. At Tuesday's meeting, commissioners said that the video went beyond the limits of free speech. There are limits, said Commissioner Doug Gilpin. Really? Did you write that Constitution? Is your name on that, on the Bill of Rights? I don't remember seeing that. Or is this your interpretation? Because if it is, I'm suggesting that you be ousted, period. It's a stain on the citizens of Sumter County. No, it's not. I'm from Sumter County. It's not a stain on me at all. You're not speaking for me. We've been faced with 9 months, half-truths, no-truths, falsehoods, and innuendos. Sounds like politics. I don't mind a debate. I don't mind people who have a different view of the world. Apparently you do. Everything you say here is you're validating the woman that you apparently are going after, because you sound more and more like an idiot. A county official took a tougher stance toward the activists earlier this year, challenging their assertions during a public forum and cutting them off. I'd like to see him cut you off. Just cut you off altogether, fire you, throw you out, oust you, whatever they got to do, because people like you is what makes life kind of hard for people like me and everybody else just trying to get by, because you somehow seem to think that you can interpret things. That's a problem with a lawyer. Are you a lawyer? I bet you are. Lawyers is all about interpretation of the law. You know, it's not about the law. It's about interpretation of the law. And in this case, not only do I hope you lose, I hope the woman wins, and I hope she wins the fact that you personally, not the city council, but you personally has to pay her attorney fees and her time in court. Because I'm on her side on this. And if you don't like it, come arrest me. I'm an easy guy to find. I think that's all on that page. Let's go to another one. See how much more trouble I can get into. Lake County School Board okays plan to arm administrators. Seeks ballot initiative for safety funding. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I have thoughts about it, but I just don't know what the right answer is. Villager continues to dog PW to hold public hearings about plan to create more housing for workers. I don't know if this has anything to do with the villages. It doesn't really say. But years ago, and it's still true to this day, we have what they call family areas in the villages. And I gave, on one of my videos, I gave you like the 4 areas. Buffalo Ridge is one, and I can't think of all the rest of them. But anyway, I give them to you. Those they're in the villages, and they have a golf cart access, I believe, to everything here. I don't know how their amenities work in those areas, but I'm sure they got some. But you can have children and live in those 4 or 5 village areas. And those were originally designed for 2 reasons, really. People that move in here today, they don't really know this, and they all kind of interpret this 80-20% thing their way, because I have the written law in there that was sent to me by the governor of what it is. Now, there are some preclusions to it about exactly how that 55 plus 80-20 thing works. And most of what you hear down here is not true. But it's gotten so out of hand, I'm not sure that they'll do anything about it anyway. So, anyway, I haven't said anything about it because it doesn't really, it all depends on what area you're in, is how far out of hand it's gotten. But the thing is that these family parks were originally designed for villages employees only. So if you worked for the villages in any capacity and you were married and you were 23 and you had a couple of kids, you could buy a home in these family areas and work for the villages. And the only people that could buy in those homes at that time were only those that worked for the villages. I don't know if it's still that way anymore. All this is owned by the developer, and basically the developer can, I'm not saying he has like a total control, but if he wants the rules changed in certain areas, I'm sure he has the political power to get it done. So I don't know if it's that way now, but I do know those are still family areas. They're still there. I don't know if those family areas are open to the public, even though I suspect they are, because I have went to the village's realty home sites specifically looking, and I see those homes for sale on the village's homes for sale site. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're open to anybody. I mean, they still could have rules there, but if you got children and you want to move to this area, it's something to ask, to see if you can. So there might be thinking of building another one down in our area or between us and Finney, because they're hiring more and more people because the village is getting bigger and bigger. So I don't know that it does have anything to do with the villages or not, but it could. Spring Arbor is another one. The village of Spring Arbor is a family park. Let's go on to another one. Sumter County nixes residents' request for signage in village of Sunset Point. Villagers demand improvements at dog park. Woman attempts to pay for food with counterfeit bills at Spanish Springs restaurant. Village of Glenbrook man became a member of the chosen few in Korean War. Good for you. My uncle, I don't talk about my family very much. He's gone now, but I admired him greatly. I wish I could remember the name of it, my memory anymore. But during the Japanese invasion, he got captured and was on the, I forget what they call it. It was a march. They called it something march. He talked about it. He survived. Not good. I had malaria and some other problems, but he was a tough old cookie. You had to respect the guy. Fruitland Park Commissioners okay plan for Leesburg Church to build campus near Village's neighborhood. Well, I can probably understand why. Don't know anything about it. I've never seen an aerial view. I don't think anybody else has either. But I know the villages bought like 2,000 or 3,000 more acres over in Leesburg. And somehow that's going to connect with the villages here, because that's what makes the villages, right? Because we're all golf cart and road connected. So I'm going to guess it's going to loop around here somehow, some way, and connect on the other side of Pine Hills over here. Just my guess. Maybe Leesburg goes further south and it'll connect way down there by Southern Oaks or something. I don't know. So the church probably knows. And they're building a church there, getting ready for the multitudes of sinners. Here we are, the last one. An inspection of walkway prompted shutdown of Lake Sumter Line. Ooh, that's going to cut into the kitty. Lake Sumter Line is the boat rides at Lake Sumter Landing up there on that lake. By the way, that's the largest man-made lake anywhere in the state of Florida. There is no fishing in that lake whatsoever. People always try to sneak by it, but there's signs all up and down there. They're fancy signs. Maybe that's why they don't take them serious, but there's no fishing in that lake. They might have started some kind of a club thing now, a catch and release program. I don't know. I don't really get into it all that much anymore. But, yeah, there's a ramp. It's a floating kind of like a ramp. And the boats are there, and you walk down the ramp to get on the boat, and they take you a boat ride. It's, I don't know what it is, a 30-minute boat ride that goes around the lake. And there's a guy on the boat that he'll tell you stories as he goes around the lake. That's all I'm going to say. He'll tell you stories as you go around the lake. It's fun. Especially if you got the grandkids. It's fun. We've taken our grandkids. I've been on it a couple of times. But anyway, apparently they found something wrong with that ramp where you board the boat. And so they've closed it now. But the villages will get on top of that, and they'll get that fixed real quick. Why? Because it's money. Man arrested at Belvedere Library found mentally unable to face trial in child porn case. He was, he's mentally, so, yeah, they have to let that go. The villager's grandson back in prison after a turbulent stay in the villages. You know, this kid, and I don't know anything about his mom, but I think I read a couple articles about her too. What a couple of winners these are. This kid's going to prison now, as he should be, and he should just spend a lot of time there as far as I'm concerned, and just not even, he should be barred, somehow barred from ever coming back to the villages at all. And maybe mom too, because they both don't seem very ambitious about anything. Grandma and Grandpa letting them stay there. You know, what's the matter with you people? Good Lord. These people have been a problem for at least a couple of years now. And you keep bringing them back and keep bringing them back. I know they're your family, but after a while, it's fish or cut bait. And it's time for them to go make a living on their own. They got to learn some responsibility here. This kid is, I think, just nuts. Sorry, but the truth is the truth. And it's just not my opinion. Grandson of a village's couple has begun serving time again in Florida's prison after trying to launch a fresh start. Yeah, right, a fresh start. He ain't interested in no fresh start. He's just full of the right things to say to get out and to get back under Grandpa and Grandma's roof. Devin James LaRue, 26, is now incarcerated at the Appalachia Correctional Institute in Sneads. He is serving a 2-year sentence for threatening to infect a Wildwood police officer with HIV. LaRue's troubles began at the tender age of 15. Tender age. Listen, it might be an impressionable age, but it's far from being tender. When he snuck past his sleeping mother, stole her keys, and sped off in her Mitsubishi Eclipse as a Pinellas Police County Sheriff's deputy was trying to pull LaRue's vehicle over, he hit the gas and smashed into a Jeep Wrangler, killing a 33-year-old woman. That's the first thing right there. All you gotta do is pull over. No, his stupid mind said, oh, I'm gonna take off and try to outrun this cop. Dumb shit. You can't outrun a radio. You people just don't learn. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll have to cut that out. LaRue was sentenced to 9.5 years in prison in connection with the woman's death. After his April 22nd, 2016 release from prison, LaRue moved into the home of his grandparents on Jasper Way in the villages of Ashland. Ashland is up there by Lake Sumter on the Buena Vista side. Couldn't think of the name. In June of that year, LaRue was arrested after allegedly throwing a water bottle at a woman at the Lynn Haven postal station. Get it? This kid's up at the postal station. Who knows why he's up there? Maybe he gets Grandma and Grandpa's mail. Maybe he's just walking around looking for... I don't know what he's up there for. Actually, he's not a resident here. He shouldn't be at the postal station at all. But he's up there. And some other lady's up there getting her mail. It doesn't say anything about the other lady's age. And he gets in some kind of argument with her probably, and he throws his water bottle at her. These people just don't learn. At that time, he had reportedly been... heard something out there. At that time, he had reportedly been acting irrational, but LaRue's family retained a criminal defense attorney, Carrie Rada, R-A-D-A, Rada, then a candidate for Lake County judge, who took LaRue's case to a jury and won acquittal. You attorneys amaze me. I understand everybody has a right for a defense, but like this guy over here on the commission here in Lady Lake, he couldn't stand somebody calling him a monster. This guy kills people, threatens to give them HIV and everything else, and somehow he gets an acquittal? Are you kidding? In February of 2017, after he crashed a car into a concrete barrier on US 301, LaRue led Wildwood police officers on a foot chase. LaRue, who had alcohol and cocaine in his system at the time, threatened to give HIV to a police officer who took him into custody. Then, during a ride in an ambulance to the village's regional hospital, LaRue began spitting blood and saliva at the police officer and an EMT. At the time, LaRue's family did not hire a private attorney. He began his incarceration May 24th with the Florida Department of Corrections. His release date will be subject to change pending gain time award, gain time forfeiture, or review according to the FDOC. You heard it. It happens here in the villages. Florida's friendliest hometown. All right, I believe that's all I'm going to do today. We're going to get out of here. Today's beer day, Thursday. This will be posted Friday. Hot, humid, blue skies, puffy white clouds, raining every afternoon for, it varies, 20 minutes to who knows how long. This is typical Florida, summer. This is it. So, I think Sue's out getting paint. Yay me. Going to paint the master closet. She decided she wants to take the shelves out, raise them up higher, and put a second row of shelves in, which I kind of agree with. So actually, it's me, I brought it up. I just like to do things and get it done and over. So I said, if we're going to take the shelves out and you're going to put another shelves in, as long as the closet is totally empty, why don't you go up and get the paint for the bedroom and everything, and I'll go ahead and paint that closet and get it done and out of the way. That when we put everything back in, we're done. We don't have to do anymore. And so, yeah, I know, stupid me. But anyway, she's up getting paint, and we'll get that done and out of the way. And had a meet and greet this week with a couple of my subscribers up at Evans Prairie. I hope I helped out a little. They asked some questions. My wife and I told them what we knew. We give them advice on a couple things that we thought was probably a right way to go, or at least it's a suggestion. And then you can use your own thoughts on how you think you ought to do it. But you did buy a house. I know you did. I got your email. They bought a new house down in Finney. Congratulations. Now the work begins. Now you got to buy furniture. You got to get it decorated. You got to get it ready for the winter. You know, because I know you said you're going to rent it out at least this winter and probably the next 3 or 4 winters. So you got to get it ready. They're looking for long-term renters, I think a year at a time. And if any of my subscribers are interested in renting their home down there in Finney, I don't know exactly where that is in Finney, but it's down there in the Finney area. It's brand new. Nobody lived in it. It might be a deal for you for a year. So my only suggestion to them was, if you're going to rent it out for a year, and I said, because of some of the things you've heard me read here, try to do it with age-appropriate people. Don't rent it out to 35-year-olds. I know legally they can be here, but they just seem to be more and more of a problem as time goes by. If I had a house to rent out, if the people weren't at least 55 years old, it ain't happening. I'm not renting to you. You know, there is no discrimination on that. You know, there's no law about that. It's my house. I can rent it out to anybody I want to for any reason I want to. So that was only my suggestion, I said. So anyway, go fishing and nobody lived in it. It might be a deal for you for a year. So my only suggestion to them was, if you're going to rent it out for a year, and I said, because of some of the things you've heard me read here, try to do it with age-appropriate people. Don't rent it out to 35-year-olds. I know legally they can be here, but they just seem to be more and more of a problem as time goes by. If I had a house to rent out, if the people weren't at least 55 years old, it ain't happening. I'm not renting to you. You know, there is no discrimination on that. You know, there's no law about that. It's my house. I can rent it out to anybody I want to for any reason I want to. So that was only my suggestion, I said. So anyway, if you're interested in renting his house, in the description box below, put your email, contact information that you feel comfortable with, or email it to me. I've got my emails on there in the description box below. So no, you would be in the comment box. I'm getting this messed up. My information is in the description box below. If you're interested in renting this place for a year, in the comments below, box below, put your contact information, however you want to do it. I will forward it to him. Otherwise, send me an email. My email's in the description box, and that way it won't be on here for anybody else to see, and or phone number or whatever you feel comfortable with, and I will forward it to him. I have his contact information. He'd appreciate it. I'm just trying to help out a little bit. So until then, you guys have a great day.
Hello, we are Kevin
and Karen
from Rhode Island. We are here on a 7-day lifestyle preview.
Love the villages.
And we are with the man, the myth, and the legend, Skip Smith and his wonderful wife,
Sue Smith.
So, the best is yet to come. We are excited. And we will see you on the other side.